in the aim to make yourself small so that you may seem humble or respectable to the right people, or that you may try to impress the right people. What you actually do is you completely denigrate your value as a person, not only to yourself, but to those people that are actually worth seeing you respect yourself. Many people are just not even worth it as far as showing yourself to them that you have self-respect. The only people that you really need to show yourself to be respectful for and to is yourself, and then the people that are worth seeing that and having worth being shown that, right? You don't really need to be all up in the whole system that makes you less than what you really are. And I think that a lot of the times people's fear of success makes them a threat to their own selves rather than to the system. And when you become a threat to the system, you're usually acting the way in which is that you're asserting yourself, you're making life fun, you're disciplined, but you also know how to just chill sometimes. You know that there's multi dimensions to your personality. There's not just one way to be. Now, some of you maybe have that one way to be, and maybe that's just who you are and what you are. I know that there's a lot of people who associate more with, let's say, the warrior archetype or the magician archetype more so than any other archetype. And it's not to say that there's not really an archetype that usually dominates in the hierarchy of archetypes within your psyche. It's just that when you constantly favor one or the other, over the other rather, you start to see a trend in how you misplace yourself. And I was just outside after I got back from the gym, and it was already a very busy day. Like, I already had hours of work done. I read the Bible a little bit, meditated a little bit, went to the gym, and I've got some more work to do tonight. And then I've got another Regal Change Academy meeting afterwards. So it's been a very full day, and it's not even close to over. So what I'm looking at now is, okay, I need just some active rest now. My body is signaling to me that I need to chill for a second. So what do? Well, I go outside and I smoke a little bit of pipe tobacco, and I listen to some 1930s jazz music. And then you hear the trumpet and the saxophone and all that as well. It's just very nice. And the soft drums. And you're just sitting there and enjoying the moment, right? Because in that moment, it's just that moment. All those other things that are going through your day-to-day life, those are left behind for that moment in time, right? Because now, even though it's always now, it's just that moment is that moment. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm relaxing for the moment, and I'm just taking it all in, because it's actually a pretty nice day considering how we've had rainy days for the last little while. But it's been a really nice day, and just soaking in that fall, autumn sun and watching the leaves fall off the tree in real time, and it's just very relaxing. And I don't know exactly how many people are able to actually relax like that. I don't know how many people are actually able to let themselves chill. And it's almost like the more that you chill, Max, the more that you are staying out of the zone of this almost inner betrayal constantly and consistently. So many people I've seen that are on the spiritual path, they either are going through absolute hell, or they want to believe everything is sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. Now, of course, the more depths of your sorrow that you actually experience, the more likely you're going to be experiencing the heights of joy. But it doesn't always need to be so polarized. Sometimes you can just be a steady, calm, cool river that's steadily flowing down. Sometimes the water will pick up a little bit, sometimes the water will stop a little bit, but you're just going to keep on flowing, right? Like Bruce Lee says, sometimes you just got to be like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot, right? There's something very, very useful there as far as spiritual understanding. And I do this with everything. And I've questioned everything in the system to the point in which I know who I really am and what I'm really about. And I'm not putting myself in a position where I have to make myself small in order for people to see me. I don't need to do that anymore. And of course, I'm not just, chest out and strutting my stuff. I don't need to do that either. I'm just calm, cool, collected, and I move with a sense of purpose and integrity. It's really that simple. It's not easy to do because it took me years of developing a godlike mindset to get to that point. But that's just the way that it is. That's the way that things operate once you get to that point. And it seems to me that not enough people are questioning what's happening with the government right now too. I'm sure everybody knows about the food stamps and the SNAP benefits and all that. At least in the United States, the government has been shut down for now 29 days. And SNAP benefits, which are the food stamps, which many people in the United States do benefit off of those food stamps that are actually working, by the way. They're not just mooching off the government. Now, there are people that do mooch. Okay, there are for sure people that do mooch, but I think that more often than not, it's the people that are actually working that need those kinds of things anyway. And, November 1st is when the cutoff date begins, right? And it seems to me that each side is using humanitarian principles as a way to really put forth their own agendas. And I'm not a conservative, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm just a guy that follows Christ. And it seems to me that these people are just exploiting the civility of the people even more so than they already were. And it's incredible to watch because it's so terrible. And those are times of war, by the way. When people go hungry and political agendas are being pushed and people who are being basically used as useless and useful pawns to exemplify their agenda in politics, usually that's times of war. We're there, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I've been telling you guys for a year that we're in World War III. We just didn't really know it, or it's not as what we thought it was going to be like. And here we are. I mean, the war is upon us. And everybody that's wanting to be completely in hell or completely in heaven, but neither are actually always present in this world. That's why I call it heavenliness and hellishness. It's because it's a state of mind to some degree. Heaven and hell are absolutely places, but they're also states of mind. And when you go to those places, and if you stay in one polar or the other for too long, you're going to start to lose touch with what's actually real in this life. Because the people that are, it's almost like toxic positivity. The people that are wanting everything to be super amazing, where everybody eats sunshine and rainbows and poops lollipops. That's where they want to be, right? And these are the New Agers. These are the people that are fake Christians. Everything's just splendid. Hippie Jesus. And then you have the people on the other side that are in this form of hell, this hellishness. And usually those are the atheists, even though they don't really think so. And they're the most bitter people I've ever met, in not majority of the time, not all atheists, but majority of atheists that I knew and know are very bitter with life. These are also the people that are hyper religious as well. They're just too much of rigid in their religious beliefs and followings and such. And this is where a lot of Muslims are. This is where a lot of people that are, and I'm not trying to, pick on one group of people or one religious base in particular. I'm just giving examples. And then it's the people that kind of balance the two, that walk the narrow path. Hello. Those are the people that are able to experience hellishness and heavenliness, but they stay on the narrow path in reality. They focus on their own salvation. They focus on living life in accordance to the law, statutes, and commandments of God. And when you do that, when you're just speaking the truth, you become a threat to the system. And studying Bitcoin, for example, as well, and understanding how the fiat system truly works. Like the thing that really got me with the fiat system. Now, for those of you that don't know what fiat is, it's basically a government-backed currency where there's no, well, how do I put this more concisely? Essentially, it's a currency that is not backed by gold or any other form of reputable currency. The US dollar is a fiat currency. Okay? And fiat currencies never last. You don't know no one in the world can name me one fiat currency that has lasted more than 1,000 years. There's few that even last more than 50 years. And the US is at, 54 years, 53 years, something like that. We moved off the gold standard in 71 or 72 with the 1900s. So we're right there. And it's just amazing to me how we're built as a society to be stupid. We're built to be idiots. And I think that most people's own demise and destruction, it comes from their own fear of success in the system by playing the system. Now, I'm not saying that, because the fiat system rewards bad behavior, and it rewards behaviors that are not biblically based at all. And for an example, the fiat currency, like in the Bible, it's not really appropriate to get a loan unless you can pay it back. And how many people do you know that have borrowed money, but they don't have the money to pay it back? And I mean, I was one of those people. Okay, when I got student loans, for example, that was me. I had no clue. I just knew that's what they told me. They didn't say that, because in the fiat system, credit and borrowed time is the product. Whereas with Bitcoin, that's not the case. And why do you think so many people don't want you to be on board with Bitcoin? I've never met anybody that understands Bitcoin and thinks that it's a bad idea. Everybody that doesn't understand Bitcoin, in my experience, and I had no idea how polarizing of a topic it was, like, holy crap. I had no idea how polarizing. I was on the fence for quite a while about it just because I didn't understand it. I thought it was cool, but I didn't understand it. But I had no idea how freaking against it some people were. And the loopholes and the mental gymnastics they'll go to get to it's just crazy. So when you just start to question things, all of a sudden, people literally want to hurt you. It's so crazy. I mean, that's what they did with Jesus Christ, right? Jesus Christ was the only perfect man to ever walk the earth. And they killed him for it. He did miracles, and he helped people, and he healed people, and he cast out demons, and they killed him for it. It's weird that it's almost like the more love that you have to give, the more people want to kill you. Man, I kind of thought about that for a second, because that's exactly how it feels sometimes. The more love I have to give, and the more truth I hold, and the more wisdom that I attain through the Holy Spirit, it's like the more people just want to just want to kill me, man. Like, I haven't had exactly death threats, but I have had, threats, and I've gotten emails and such. Most of the emails or the messages I get on Instagram or X or whatnot, most of those are pretty positive, and most of the comments on the channel is pretty positive as well. I love being able to see the comment section in my channel and having people actually think about the things that I'm saying, and they're actually digesting it, and then they're able to have a proper response. That's great. That's fantastic. And then you always have the keyboard warriors. I hope one day to have the confidence of a keyboard warrior, because it seems to me like these people are so confident in what they're saying, and yet these people would never, and I'm being sarcastic, of course, like with the confidence thing, because I know I'm solid, but it's so funny how these people would never say this kind of thing to you in person. Nobody talks in person like how they do on the internet. It's just not the case. And people that do get their butts kicked. I mean, it just is the way that it is, man. And it's so funny to me how all these anonymous accounts, like, you can't take these anonymous accounts seriously, especially when they critique you, and just that's the only comments that they've had on your channel or your account or whatnot. For anybody that's creating content or wants to create content, just know that. Okay, just know that there are going to be people that are anonymous that will critique the crap out of you, and yet that's all they do. They just watch you because they want to critique you. And it's because they're literally a walking ideology. The ideology has possessed them. And when you, as a person that speaks the truth, are speaking the truth, it's like the Agent Smiths of the Matrix. They pop out of nowhere, and they start to try to silence you as Neo, or Morpheus, or Trinity, or whoever you want to be, right? Whatever you associate with, it's just a metaphor. But it's just hilarious to me how we can't question the narratives anymore. Like if we question we're just asking questions. We're not even trying to start anything. We're just asking a question. And apparently that's just too much for some people sometimes. It's just too much for some people to handle. But you know what? Screw them. I mean, we're living in the truth. It's better to live in the truth. Like okay, I was reading the Iliad while I'm on the treadmill earlier today, and what I noticed about the characters in the Iliad, because these are all like ancient Greek characters, right? They're all very proper and sophisticated. The way that they speak is much more proper, and women know their place. They know, and men know their place, and they know the roles of each other much more than they do now. It's so crazy how we have to ask, the whole, what is a woman? What is a man? All those letter people that are trying to confuse. Trusting the government is gay, by the way. If you're trusting the government with what your ideology is, I think that's gay. I think you're going to, and if you don't believe me, look at all the gays. But anyway, I digress. The Iliad, the way that they speak to each other and the way they speak about each other holds such reverence, even amongst enemies. They're like, behold, my righteous anger is true. And they go on this whole like tangent against their enemy. And the enemy, says, while you speak well, and while you speak well of your ill will toward me, I shall. And just, they have such a reverence for each other, even though they hate each other. And they're planning to kill each other because they freaking mean it. Everybody online nowadays, they're like baby gremlins that think they know things, but they just go off on tangents. And this is why you're going to be a threat to the system when you're speaking the truth. You're a threat to the system when you're speaking the truth and you're acting in the truth and you're living the truth. Because these baby gremlins cannot handle it. They just can't. So keep doing what you're doing. If you're living the truth, live the truth. Don't make yourself small. And don't ever denigrate yourself for the sake of looking humble to people that don't even matter. So with all that being said, join the free event that I have coming up on November 9th. That is going to be, again, a free event, The Path of the Golden Lion. And that's going to be where we're going to be talking about celibacy, semen retention, stoic principles, how to connect more with your nervous system, etc. So be sure to sign up for that. The link then is in the description box below. Check out the Regal Change Academy or book a session with me for a one-on-one. I appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Peace. Until next time.